On days like today, where it gaps up and then stays flat, should we just sit on our hands? Also, when you have gappers lifts, most our stocks are not familiar with, so I just get overwhelmed. For starting, should we just start with a few stocks you are familiar with? Well, it depends on what you mean by familiarity. I'd rather have you trade the same setup than the same stock and be like, all I am is a 2-2 reversal person. Right? Because that's what I am. I think it was a good on the 15er. Real nice 15er. Right there. Like, that's it. 2-2 15er. That's all I do. That's my job. I'm like, I don't even care what these guys do. But I'd rather have you stick on just 2-2 reversals on 30s and 60 gappers. And if there's nothing to do, don't do anything. Because on days like today, what I'm trying to pick up on, because I know it's drying up, the question is, are they rotating into anything, right? Which they were. They were going into XLP here to a certain extent, like not a total major, still inside weak problem. But I'm just trying to pick up on what their initial hand is to start the week off, right? Initially, they wanted XLP and they wanted XLV, right? They did, and they did not strong enough to go 2 weeks just yet. But it's the beginning of the week, so I'm keeping an eye on what they're doing and be like, do they really want to do that? is what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, and say, okay, if you really want to buy this thing, you're going to buy it on Monday, Tuesday, which is the first day of the week, and Wednesday, right? If you really want this stuff, otherwise you get the 2-2 reversal or an inside day. So I'm always watching what they're doing. Be like, did they come back? Right? We know it's summer and we know it's holiday week, but Mondays I'm always keeping an eye on what they do. And the first week of the month, now we got the end of the quarter. Right? These guys are going to have some splaining to do end of the quarter too. Right? Well, how do they want to position themselves end of the quarter? So yeah, I don't want you to jump around a lot on a lot of symbols. That can be very confusing. Some people are good at it, but for the most part, the strat has so many signals that you can drive yourself nuts, right? And that's what I don't want, right? And I'd rather have you sit back and watch, because there'll be times when I discernibly know what's going to happen. There's no two ways about it. And some of the podcasts I've done, Penny Lane Blaine and Stubbs, and these guys are like, "What do you mean you know what's going to happen?" I'm like, "I know what's going to happen. I'm not. I don't think it's going to happen. I know it is, right?" And there's a lot of times where I'm like, "I don't know. I'm still gathering evidence." But what we want to be able to do is make hay when we do know. For sure, this is a simultaneous break. We know it for sure, like we've known all year in the energies. And simultaneous break can go both ways too here too, because you had XLE had this monster run and they got killed. They crushed this thing. But we knew about that because it was 2-2 reversal day, causing the 2-2 reversal week. So we knew that's where you take caution, right? And you can go the other way. Because now XLE is now an outside month. This is the first time it had a lower low all year, right? But once that thing started going red and back through here, oh yeah, outski. Outski and reverse ski. Now you got your bunch of inside days. So always keep an eye on the sequence by multiple time frame. Be like, if this doesn't work, you could have big problems, right? If this doesn't hold here, you got problems. The gap down here, right? That's a problem, right? Because now you get potential outside month, which you got, right? And also, it can be a matter of liquidity too, and being like, all right, I'm going to trade stocks like Intel, something that's liquid, MU or whatever, to level of liquidity. But always, trying to keep an eye on, are they discerning stocks versus each other in the sector, or are they buying or selling them all? That's what I'm looking for. I want to see if these guys are rotating into defensive names like XLP. They're buying all of them. That's something I'd want to know about. They're selling all of XLU. That means everybody's going down, right? When they started hitting XLU here, they were all going down, right? There's no way you were not turning that around anytime soon, right? And we knew about that too. Take it easy, learn the strat. Yeah, it'll keep you out of losers and keep your losses small. Yep. And sometimes it can be frustrating, but I'm like, I'm not going to let you get killed. And that's when I keep those stops tight. Be like, until you know what you're doing, I'm not going to let you just sit here and get buried.